I've walked through hospital hallways before. But nothing prepared me for what I saw that day. My best friend was sitting on the cold floor, her face buried in her hands, crying like someone who had already lost everything. I asked just one question. "Where's your husband?" She looked up at me and said, "He signed the papers." I didn't understand what that meant until the doctor stepped closer and explained the truth. Those papers weren't paperwork. They were permission, and in that moment, I realized this story wasn't about illness anymore. It was about betrayal. My name is Aisha, and today I'm sharing a story that still keeps me awake at night. If you believe friendship means standing up when it matters most, and if you've ever trusted the wrong person, stay with me until the end. I went to the hospital that afternoon because something felt wrong. My best friend Sarah Williams hadn't answered my calls for 2 days. No texts, no excuses, just silence. The hospital smelled like disinfectant and fear. Machines beeped somewhere in the distance, and every face I passed looked tired, worried, defeated. Then I saw her. Sarah was sitting alone in the hallway outside the ICU. Her knees were pulled to her chest. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were red and swollen, like she had been crying for hours. I rushed toward her. "Sarah, what happened?" I asked. She didn't answer. She just grabbed my hand so tightly it hurt. Her hands were ice cold. I knelt beside her and whispered, "Where's your husband?" She swallowed hard, looked down, then said the words I'll never forget. "He was here. He signed the papers." I frowned. "What papers, Sarah?" She finally looked at me. Her eyes were filled with fear, not sadness, not anger, fear. "The doctor is coming," she said quietly. "Then you'll understand." That's when I saw a man in a white coat walking toward us, holding a clipboard. And something in my chest told me, whatever was written on those pages had already changed everything. The doctor stopped in front of us. He looked at Sarah first, then at me. I nodded. "I'm her best friend." He hesitated for a second, then said, "Your husband already signed the consent forms." I felt my stomach drop. "Consent for what?" I asked. The doctor glanced down at his clipboard, then back up at us. "For a do not resuscitate order," he said quietly. Everything went silent. No hallway noise, no machines, no footsteps. Just those 4 words echoing in my head. "Do not resuscitate." I turned to Sarah. "What does he mean?" I asked her. "Sarah, what does that mean?" Her lips were shaking now. "It means," she whispered, "if my heart stops, they won't try to save me." I jumped to my feet. "What? Why would he sign something like that?" The doctor spoke again, calmly, too calmly. "Your condition is serious," he said to Sarah. "Severe internal bleeding after the accident. There's a chance you may not make it through surgery." I looked at Sarah in shock. "Accident?" I asked. "What accident?" She looked away. Before she could answer, I asked the question that mattered most. "Where is her husband right now?" The doctor paused. "He left," he said. "About 20 minutes ago." "Left?" "He signed papers deciding whether she lived or died. And then he walked out." I could feel anger rising in my chest. "He didn't even stay?" I asked. The doctor shook his head. He said he had work. Work. Sarah suddenly started crying again. Not loud, not dramatic. Just silent tears rolling down her cheeks. "That's not true," she said softly. I knelt in front of her. "What's not true?" I asked. Her voice was barely audible. "The accident," she said. "There was no accident." I froze. "What do you mean?" She took a deep breath, like she had been holding this secret in for too long. "He pushed me," she whispered. "We were fighting. He got angry. And he pushed me down the stairs. My heart started pounding. "Did you tell the doctors?" I asked. She shook her head. "He told me not to," she said. "He said if I talked, he'd leave me. He said no one would believe me anyway." That's when it hit me. Those papers weren't about mercy, they were about control. And suddenly, everything made sense. Why he signed so fast. Why he didn't ask questions. Why he left. Because if she died, he'd never have to explain what really happened. Then the doctor cleared his throat. "We need to take her to surgery," he said, "now." They lifted Sarah onto the bed. She grabbed my hand tightly. "Aisha," she whispered, "if I don't make it." "Stop," I said quickly, "you're going to make it." But deep down, I wasn't sure anymore. As they wheeled her away, I made a decision. If Sarah survived this, I wasn't letting the truth stay buried, and if she didn't, I would make sure her story was heard. No matter the cost. They rolled Sarah through the double doors, and just like that, she was gone. The doors closed. The hallway felt colder, empty. I stood there staring at the red "surgery in progress" sign, my hands shaking. Then I remembered the words the doctor had said. Do not resuscitate. I walked straight to the nurse's station. "There's a mistake," I said. "Those papers should never have been signed." The nurse looked up. "Are you her legal guardian?" she asked. "No," I said, "but I know something you don't." She hesitated. Then called the attending physician. A few minutes later, a senior doctor stepped out. I told him everything. The argument, the stares, the push, the threats. I expected doubt, I expected judgment. Instead, his expression changed. "Did anyone document this?" he asked. I shook my head. "Then we need to act fast," he said. "If there's domestic violence involved, that consent can be challenged." Hope. For the first time that day, I felt it. The doctor disappeared back into the operating area. Minutes felt like hours. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Stay out of this." My blood ran cold. Another message followed. "This doesn't concern you." I knew exactly who it was, her husband. I didn't reply. Instead, I screenshotted everything. 10 minutes later, 2 hospital security officers approached me. "Ma'am," one of them said, "we need to ask you a few questions." I nodded. They took me to a quiet room. That's when I found out the truth. Sarah's husband had already tried to leave the building. Before surgery even started, security stopped him. He was angry, defensive. And when they asked why he was leaving, his story didn't match what he told the doctors. Different timeline, different excuses, too many lies. The hospital contacted a social worker, then they contacted the police. Because now, this wasn't just a medical emergency. It was a criminal investigation. Hours passed. Finally, the surgeon came out. His face was serious. "We removed the bleeding," he said. "She survived the surgery." I exhaled so hard my knees almost gave out. "But," he continued, "there were complications." "She's alive," he said, "but she's still not safe." I asked the question I was terrified to ask. "And the DNR?" He looked at me. "It's been voided," he said, "effective immediately." I felt tears in my eyes. Someone had listened, someone had believed her. And somewhere in the hospital, her husband was realizing that his plan wasn't working. The police arrived quietly. No sirens, no drama. Just 2 officers walking into the hospital like they already knew. This wasn't going to be simple. Sarah's husband was sitting near the exit. Arms crossed. Legs shaking. Trying to look calm. One of the officers asked him to stand. He smiled. That fake, confident smile people wear when they think they're still in control. They took him into a small consultation room. I wasn't supposed to listen. But hospital walls are thin, and lies are loud. At first, he said it was an accident. She slipped, he told them. She's clumsy. Then they asked him why he left the hospital. Right after signing life or death papers, his answer changed. "I panicked," he said. "I needed air." Minutes later, they asked about the text messages, the threats. His voice got sharper. "She's dramatic," he said. "Her friend is overreacting." That's when the officer said something that made the room go silent. We reviewed the security footage. I held my breath. "The stairwell camera shows you following her," the officer continued. "Moments before she fell." No answer. Then the officer added, "And the hospital entrance camera shows you trying to leave before surgery began." That's when he snapped. "You can't prove anything," he shouted. "She's my wife." Wrong move. Because marriage doesn't erase bruises. And it doesn't erase video. The officer stood up. "We're placing you under investigation for domestic assault." I watched as the color drained from his face. At the same time, the social worker came to find me. "She's waking up," she said. Briefly. They took me to the ICU. Machines everywhere, tubes. Monitors. Sarah's eyes were barely opened. I leaned close. "They know," I whispered. "They believe you." Her eyes filled with tears. "He told me no one would," she whispered back. I squeezed her hand. "You were never alone," I said. "You just didn't know it yet." Before she drifted back to sleep, she said something I'll never forget. "He's done this before." My heart stopped. "Before?" I asked. She nodded slightly. "Not to me," she said. "To his ex-wife." And suddenly, this wasn't just one incident. It was a pattern. A history. A truth that had been buried until now. When Sarah said he had done this before, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Not sleep, not breathe, not relax. An ex-wife means a past. And a past usually leaves evidence. The social worker helped me make the call. Within hours we had a name: Emily Carter. She lived 2 states away. Divorced. No contact with him for years. I didn't know what to expect. When I called her, anger, fear, silence? She answered on the second ring. I told her who I was. I told her why I was calling. There was a long pause. Then she said quietly, "I've been waiting for this call." My stomach dropped. She told me everything. The control, the isolation. The way he decided what she wore, who she spoke to, where she went. And then, the fall. "I slipped on the stairs," Emily said. That's what he told everyone. She survived, barely. When she tried to tell the truth, he threatened her. So she left. No police report. No charges, just silence until now. Emily agreed to speak to the police. That changed everything, because suddenly, this wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a pattern of violence. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Sarah's condition stabilized. She was weak, bruised, but alive. The officer assigned to the case came to see me. "We pulled his records," he said. There were previous calls to his address. Domestic disturbance, noise complaints, unreported injuries. Too many red flags that no one followed up on. The officer leaned forward. "If Sarah is willing to testify, and Emily confirms her story, this becomes a very strong case." Later that night, Sarah woke up fully for the first time. I told her about Emily. Her eyes widened. "So it wasn't my fault," she whispered. "No," I said firmly, "it never was." Tears rolled down her face. "I thought I was weak," she said. "I thought I deserved it." That's what abusers do. They don't just hurt your body, they rewrite your reality. As I sat there holding her hand, I realized something terrifying. If I hadn't walked into that hospital that day, Sarah might not be here, and there might have been another woman after her. The courtroom was colder than I expected. Not because of the air conditioning, but because of the silence. Sarah sat beside me. Hands folded in her lap. Shoulders tense. She looked smaller, somehow weaker. But I could see it in her eyes. She wasn't the same woman who sat crying on a hospital floor. Across the room, her husband sat confidently with his lawyer. Clean suit. Relaxed posture. Like this was just another inconvenience in his day. When the judge entered, everything changed. The prosecutor began with the basics. Name, marriage, timeline. Then came the question everyone was waiting for. Mrs. Williams, he said. Can you tell the court what happened the night you were injured? Sarah's hand started shaking. I leaned closer and whispered. You're safe. She took a deep breath. We were arguing, she said slowly. He was angry. Her husband shifted in his seat. She continued. We were on the stairs. I told him I wanted to leave. Her voice cracked, and he pushed me. A murmur filled the courtroom. Her husband shook his head. Laughed quietly. The prosecutor didn't stop. Did he ever threaten you? Yes, she said. He told me no one would believe me. Then the defense stood up. They tried to paint her as unstable, emotional, accident-prone, but then the prosecutor called the next witness. The room went still. Emily walked in confidently. Calm, prepared. She described the same control. The same stares, the same threats. Different woman. Same story. That's when the judge leaned forward. Because patterns don't lie. And for the first time, Sarah's husband looked nervous. The courtroom was silent, too silent. The prosecutor pulled out a phone. He pressed play. Sarah's husband's voice filled the room, calm, confident, but chilling. If you ever tell anyone what I did, no one will believe you. It's your word against mine. The judge looked up. The defense lawyer's face turned pale. Even the jury leaned forward. Sarah squeezed my hand, her lips trembled. Tears streamed down her face. For the first time, I could see the fear in his eyes. The recording continued. Threats. Lies. Admission. Every word breaking the facade he had built for years. Finally, the prosecutor stopped it. The room was deadly quiet. The judge looked at Sarah. Do you have anything else to say? He asked. She took a deep breath, looked directly at her husband and said, This is the truth. No one can take it from me. The courtroom erupted, not in noise, but in relief. The jury whispered. Even the judge's eyes softened. Minutes later, the verdict came in. He was held accountable. Charges, assault, threats, and endangering her life, justice. Sarah leaned back in her chair. Exhausted, relieved, free. I held her hand. And for the first time, she smiled without fear. Sometimes, it's not enough to survive. Sometimes, you have to fight. To speak the truth. To stand for yourself and for others. If you're watching this, and you've ever felt powerless, remember. You are never truly alone. There is always someone who will believe you. And your voice matters. If you want more real stories that shake the heart and inspire courage, hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. And never miss a story that could save or change a life.